we are here today for the April Spokane real estate market and mortgage market update. And we're coming at you from Tamale Box. I had the chicken chili rojo with some
As would I.
horchata.
I like.
I think it's pretty good. It's my first time here. I think it was my first time having a tamale, actually.
I don't think I've had a small either. Very good.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, just to kind of update on where we're at year to date. I mean, we say it all the time, but like trying to time the market, waiting for rates or prices to drop in just a normal market, like you're going to end up paying the price for waiting. And if we look at the median sale price to start the year, going January 1 was $388,000, and sitting at the end of April, we're looking at $415,000 with rates relatively unchanged to begin the year.
Yeah, I mean, rates are pretty much stable since they've been there. And I think, as we've talked before, usually spring is when you would start to see appreciation in housing, and that's what we've seen, and more activity.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, our activity, like closed sales are up year over year, 5%. New pendings are up year over year by almost 12%. So, I mean, like the activity in the market has not slowed despite all of the noise that you have around you, oil prices going up, things along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked a little bit last time. I mean, the big thing that's affecting rates right now is the conflict in the Middle East and oil prices. However, that being said, mortgage rates have been very resilient over the last 8 weeks during this conflict. So there was a spike initially, but they've pretty much leveled out for now. And it has made homes a little bit more affordable than even they were a year ago. But the downside of waiting is the prices are going up.
Yeah. So I guess like if I were a consumer, and the thing that I would ask you, and I'm curious, is like oil sitting up over $100 a barrel. Interest rates were at roughly 6.5, kind of in the same range of where they're at right now prior to oil spiking. So when oil comes down, do you expect rates to come down too?
I would think so. I think when oil comes down, and once again, I don't think it's going to come down quickly, but once the conflict in the Middle East is done, oil prices should come back down, and I do think interest rates will go lower than they were even before the war.
Yeah, yeah. And so what that means for us, like if we're on the market, we're buying right now. Like we've seen our active inventory increase 16% year over year, and so like it may create some opportunity if you're quick enough to be able to get some good prices on house, or at least a decent rate. Like I personally, I don't see price of housing going down with regards to like the price you're paying for a home. You might be able to negotiate a little bit more, whether it's closing costs or on the purchase price. But when rates come down, that's
There's
kind
going to
of,
bring more people out for sure.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, if rates come down, that brings more people out. It creates more demand, and like we have a decent amount of supply, but like right now we're sitting at roughly 3.5 to 4 months worth of inventory. Meaning, if nothing new came onto the market, we'd run out of houses to sell by what month are we in? May? By September, October.
Right, but I think if interest rates get better, that will shrink in
It's
that
going to
timeline
shrink. Yeah.
dramatically.
Yeah, what I'm seeing right now, like working with buyers to start there, is it's really property dependent. It's a market of strategy, and so our initial conversation is, depending on how long the house has been on the market, there's more room to negotiate. Potentially with price reductions, closing costs, things along those lines. However, like there are the handful of homes that come onto the market, and like forget what I said about strategy. Like you really got to have conversation with the other agent. How many offers, what's the interest like, and put your offer together based on that, not just the fact that in general, like we're in a balanced market, you can ask for the moon and get it, because that's not true with every single house.
Well, it seems to me too, at least over this spring, it seems like once one person starts looking for homes, a whole bunch of other people, because I've had multiple times where a house has been on the market for 80, 90 days, and then all of a sudden it's a multiple offer situation. So, just when you start to look, so is everybody else.
It's a good to know that I'm not the bad luck charm.
Yeah.
Like, I had like a spell where it's like, we go see 3 or 4 houses. We like this one. Oh, they already have offers. We like this one. They have multiple offers too. Same thing. It's like, man, like, am I just a bad luck charm? But I think it's product of the market, product of the house. Eventually it's going to get on somebody's radar. And if you look on the seller side, it's price and condition. You can't change location. You can't change the overall structure of your house without putting a ton of money into it. So we've got to price it well. And if we miss that initial window of, say, 7 to 10, maybe 14 days, we're not getting showings, or we're getting showings and we're not getting offers, it boils down to price or condition. And then it becomes more of an art of, well, where do we need to be to attract buyers' attention? As simple as that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's certainly the case. And I also think when it comes to trying to plan what your house payment is going to be and those sorts of things, that is also going to play into it. As interest rates stay pretty stable, you do have the opportunity to look at things and maybe make a few extra choices. But those hot houses, the ones that are getting the offers in 7 days, you're probably going to have to move quicker than you would if you're, finding a house that isn't priced probably correctly.
Yeah. So are you seeing much on the mortgage side of like the trade out of a lower rate to meet life needs? Like is the lower interest rate, the 3-4% rate, still something that's
we still have that conversation with people because they're like, "Well, I don't want to give up my rate," but they want a new house, and it's really at the end of the day that those two things don't go hand in hand. I mean, at the end of the day, as you and I've often talked, it's an event that usually typically causes you to move. You're getting married, you're having children, you're downsizing, whatever that case may be. And the interest rate you have now, you can't change that. So if you need more bedrooms or you want more land or you want to move, that's what's going to happen. Or that's what the decision, that should be driving your decision.
Same thing with renting too. I mean, if you're paying $1,500 a month and you have an event, marriage, child, whatever it may be, or you just want to control the home you live in, it's going to be more expensive. No matter what you do, unless you're going from a $2 million house down to, something you're paying cash for, or it's significantly smaller, it's going to be more expensive. Like your lifestyle is going to change to some extent, and it's just a budgeting matter at that point.
But that's always been the case, though. I mean, the reality is even back in the year 2000s when housing market was taking off, upgrades do cost more. I mean, like when I moved from my first house to my second house, my house payment went up $1,000 a month.
Yeah,
it wasn't the driving point. I was married, my wife was pregnant, we need a bigger house.
Yeah, same for us. I mean, first house, like my mortgage payment, I think was $600. It was a 2-bed, 1-bath, Shadle Rancher. We lived in it for about a year or so, like after we had our daughter, and then we're like, nah, this isn't going to work long term. And so you go from like $500 or $600 a month to $1,600 a month, and that's a big jump.
It is a big jump, but that's to be expected. That isn't unique to you or unique to me or unique to what's going on now. When you're buying and moving in real estate, typically when you're moving up, your payment is also going to go up.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing would be if you were driving a $10,000 car, now you want to drive an $80,000 car. Your payment's going to go up.
That payment's going to go up more than your mortgage would.
Yeah, it would.
So anyway, if you want to talk strategy, whether you're buying or selling or in need of financing other people's money, we can be reached at 509-990-SOLD.
And we can be reached at 509-747-1300.
We'll see you guys next month at our next spot.